I want to say a big hello from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. God has been doing a lot of work in my life as I've come from Sebring, Florida up to here. I've been doing a lot of traveling, getting ready to actually go out onto the mission field. I've just barely a month left until I leave, and I'm getting really excited, and I have so much to share with you today. I left Sebring over a month ago in and of itself, and I went up to Gainesville, Georgia for 2 weeks in order to do some training with my organization, Adventures in Missions. And those 2 weeks, God was doing incredible things in my life and in the life of all the people I got to meet who are going to be on my squad and on my team, and I'll be traveling with. A lot of what God was teaching me was the concept of just being able to pray without ceasing, which is something that I have read in the Bible and have talked about before. But during those 2 weeks, I really got to the point where I was coming out of sessions where I was learning different things in the Word, and I was learning different things about how to approach missions, and I was just constantly talking with the Lord and asking Him, okay, like, Lord, what does this look like? How am I supposed to do this on the mission field? And I had some incredible conversations with Jesus, and I'm really excited for what it looks like to be able to serve Him. I'm also excited to announce that I officially know my team of 7. I'm going to be traveling with some wonderful people, and we came up with our team name. It is going to be Team Joyful Noise, and that's because all 7 of us are extremely happy and excited, and all of our joy just comes from the Lord. So my team consists of Mark, Abel, Matt, Kristen, Marissa, and Caitlin, and I love them so much, and I'm getting to know them and their heart for Jesus, and that's really exciting. I also know the first location I'm going to officially be at. We are traveling at the very beginning of September to Sombor, Serbia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. It's a nice city in the country of Serbia, and we're going to be meeting up with our contact. His name is Zoltan. Our leader, Mark, has been emailing him back and forth, so we've already been talking with him as we're here in the States and just letting him know that we're so excited to be going to his church. We're probably going to be doing a little bit of teaching English. We're going to be doing a lot of relational ministry where we're building relationships and inviting people into the church so that they can experience Jesus in this way. So we're really excited. We still have a lot of details to be figured out, but I know that Jesus has got that all under control, and He's working out exactly who we're going to be touching while we're in this city. On top of that, after I had 2 weeks of training with my organization, I came back up to Pennsylvania, and I actually didn't get to go home quite yet because I was volunteering at a local camp called Camp Conquest, and it was amazing. I had a wonderful time. I worked for a week with 10 to 12-year-old girls. That's how old they were, and I had 8 of them in my tent, and I got to co-counsel with a girl named Danny, who I absolutely loved getting to know her. And I just wanted to share with you like an awesome story that came out of camp. I obviously had the opportunity to talk with people here and there about what I was going to be doing because it's come up in conversation a lot since I'm getting ready to leave in just a month. And so the pastor who was there asked if it would be okay for the children to be able to experience what it's like to kind of commission a missionary. And I said, oh, I'd love that. Like, I'd have these wonderful kids who would be able to pray for me, and they would get to experience like what it looks like to send someone out on a mission field. And so I told him that'd be wonderful. So the next day in chapel, he asked me to come to the front, and I explained to all these kids. Now the whole group probably ranged from about like 7 years old maybe to about 12. So there were definitely some younger ones in there as well. And I explained to them what I was doing and how I wanted to go and tell as many people in all the nations just all about Jesus. And it was really exciting to share that with them. And so the pastor picked out 3 little boys. They were all, I would say they were more like 8 or 9. They were on the younger side, and he told each one of them to pray specifically for me. So he told one of them to pray for my traveling, one of them to pray for my safety, and one of them to pray for my spiritual strength, that I would just dive into the Word and stay strong in Jesus and tend to my own spiritual walk. And so I had these wonderful little kids, all the ones in the group just stuck out their hands and kind of laid it towards me. And then these 3 little boys came up front and prayed for me. And it was the most beautiful thing I've experienced. I've appreciated every single one of those people who have been praying for me and who prayed with me as I left Florida and came to training camp and came back up here to PA. But these little boys were just 7 and 8 years old and 9 years old, and they were praying for me as I got ready to go on the mission field. And the prayers that they said were just so powerful. I was blown away. I was blown away by these young men, and I was so thankful that the Lord is specifically training these children to be like little boys and girls of prayer, and they're gonna grow up and be prayer warriors. And I could see that in the way that they were praying for me as I got ready for the mission field. I was just so grateful that they allow that. It was just so much of a blessing to me to see these young kids just being strong in the Lord. So getting to serve at Camp Conquest was wonderful. I loved it. I'm now here, my Pennsylvania home where my parents live, and I'll be here for a month getting to see family and friends, and that'll be wonderful. I haven't been home since Easter, so it's been a long time. I just have a few prayer requests as you continue to keep me in your prayers. I really definitely want to grow in my spiritual walk and stay steady in reading my Bible and praying a lot, because there's just so much that's about to come fast as I leave the country, and I can't do it without God. I can't do it without being firmly planted in the Word and just on my knees a lot. So just pray that I will be diligent in that. I also need to be diligent in a lot of tying up different ends as far as technical things. I've got a lot of that going on with doctor appointments and some of those kinds of things. I also would ask that as you pray for me, also join in praying for my entire team, all 7 of us. Please be praying, as many of them are still fundraising. The Lord has blessed me with people like you who have been so generous to the point where I am funded and ready to go, and that burden has been lifted because God is a provider and He's been so faithful. But I ask that as you get to know my team, these 7, that you would also be praying for them as they fundraise, because they still have a lot to fundraise, and time is approaching, so they could use your prayers as well. And I can attest to the fact that these people are wonderful men and women of God, and I am so excited to serve with them. So those are kind of a few of the prayer requests. I'm definitely going to try to be blogging a lot more, especially as I'm home, and I'll have time to be writing a few things about what I've been learning as I'm diving into the Word. And I'd love to hear from you, so if you have questions about just if I got any more details during training camp, there's so much to talk about. I can't explain it all in one video, but I'd love, if you contact me from my blog to get back to you and tell you more details about what God is doing. And I'm so excited about getting ready to leave in just over a month. So I think that's everything I have to update you, and I hope to get to talk with you possibly through email or in person if you're here in PA. And I miss my Florida family, so if you're watching this from Florida, I hope you're doing well, and I love you guys. And yeah, I think that's everything, so I will see you guys later. I'll put another vlog up in a week or so. Okay, bye!